Hi friends, Siyama Parker here, author of Conversations with JSC Altex Entrepreneurs. Today, this is our third video that I'm shooting for you. And yeah, this is the third of the fourth, by the way. Today I'm going to share very simple concepts with you. I hope you've enjoyed the last two videos, by the way. I just have very few simple ideas I want to share with you today. The first one is what I call, or what is known as, mastery. The question is always, how do masters, people who are real experts, who are masters of a craft or whatever it is, how do they attain mastery? Is it something that some people have an ability to attain, or is it something that everybody has an ability to attain? And it's been proven that everybody has what it takes to master whatever it is they're interested in mastering. So, this curve here, the curve that we have here, is a curve that demonstrates how mastery is attained. And I think I must explain this attainment of mastery, because it may sound as if mastery is a destination, but it's not. Mastery is a practice, it's a journey. Masters never reach a point where they say, now I'm a master and that's that. I can just relax and I'll remain a master. It doesn't work like that in life. Masters continue to practice. So, how do you attain mastery? First thing, whenever you learn a new skill, you usually start right at the bottom of the curve. By the way, this graph is mastery versus time. You start at the bottom and you work hard, work. And all this time, it almost feels like you're not improving. It's like going to gym. You go to gym the first day, second day, first week, second week, you come back, you come home, you look yourself in the mirror. If you're a guy, that is, stand like this. If you're a lady, you get on the scale thinking maybe you want to lose weight, or whatever the case. And you find that it doesn't look like any change is happening. And then, before you know it, all of a sudden there's this massive change that happens in what seems to be overnight. It probably accounts for what most people call overnight success, I guess. What seems like overnight, you really improve drastically. Oh my God, you're thinking, but how did this happen? I mean, for so long, it didn't look like there was change, and overnight, it seems that there's so much change. It's because of what you've been putting in here. And then you hit another level, a higher level now. And even at this level, you work hard. It doesn't look like you're changing. And then, all of a sudden, there's a jump in what seems like overnight. I'm not saying it's overnight, but because it happened so fast, this improvement here, it seems like it's overnight. And then you hit another level, and you work harder at that level, and that's how it works, on and on and on and on. What causes this is resistance, and I'm not going to go into it today. I'm hoping that I can explain to you one day how this all works. But this is a mastery curve. This is a globally accepted curve of how people master things. But what do masters do? What do they know? First of all, they learn. They're always learning. People like yourself who are watching this video right now, you're learning something new. They learn. And then they unlearn old things, old practices that they've been doing, some of them unknowingly. But now that they know what they need to do, they unlearn these. And then they practice. And they continue. Learn, unlearn, practice. Learn, unlearn, practice. And someone once said, masters practice not so much for improvement's sake, they practice for the sake of practicing. They know that every day they have to practice the right things that they've learned. Now, practice, we all know the line, practice makes perfect. But then there's a whole issue about perfection. What is perfection? Is it really attainable? So I choose to say practice makes mastery, because that's really what masters do, they practice. I remember Michael Eisner saying, what we're striving for, Michael Eisner was the CEO of Disney a couple of years back, and what he said was, perfection is unattainable. We don't aim for perfection because perfection will get you out of business, but what we're aiming for is magic. If you've been to Disney, you know what I'm talking about. So mastery, remember this, everything new that you learn, you need to put yourself through this process. Give yourself time to get better. And don't put pressure on yourself. Practice, do the right thing. As my mentor, Bill Gibson, always says, he says the world of professional selling is, as a professional salesperson, you go into a world of uncertainty, certain of your success, because of what you already know and because you practice the right things. So if you continue to practice the right things, even in the face of uncertainty, you can always be certain of your success. So that's what masters know. Now, today the topic I also want to focus on, I can't cover everything unfortunately in the slides, this is what I call quantifying. Because a lot of us, we talk to people, we meet potential clients and we want to sell to them. And how do you quantify them? How do you know how much time to invest with these people? Because you can spend so much time trying to sell somebody who's not the right person for you, who probably doesn't afford or cannot afford what you're trying to sell them, or don't need it. How do you qualify them? Now, this is my process on the phone, by the way. On the phone, if I'm talking to somebody, usually I get people to call me. There's so much that I do in advance in terms of promoting my work and campaigning my work that I get calls rather than trying to make cold calls to sell to people. But this doesn't really matter whether you make cold calls or you get calls, but I prefer to get calls, by the way. First thing you do, you've got only 5 minutes. You establish the point of conversation, the agenda. Why are we talking to each other? Imagine you were Donald Trump. Imagine you were somebody who really doesn't have time, somebody who's important, and don't get this in the wrong way, but all of us are important. But treat yourself with some respect and have a posture. Your time is important. So establish an agenda, and the other person's time is important as well. So establish an agenda up front. This is why I'm calling you. This is what we're going to talk about on this call. And especially if they call you, because this works best when they call you, because you want to know why they called you. The second thing is what the issue is. And when you know what the issue is, you really want to expand that issue such that they recognize that this thing cannot wait any longer. If the reason why they called you, it means there's a need that needs to be solved. There's a need that they have, or there's something they want, and they need a solution. So you need to really make them realize right now that if they waste another day before this thing is solved, it could get worse, by taking them to that place mentally, to say, well, if this doesn't get solved, it can get worse, blah, 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 blah. And I don't have time to really use examples on this, but intensify their needs so that they can take action faster. So the third thing is, you really want to know, before you hang up, whether they really need this issue sorted out now. Urgency, where do they want to solve? Because some people prepare proposals, go do presentations, only to discover that the company they are presenting to will only buy next year. They were not necessarily looking for a solution right now, they're just exploring. And you really don't need that. You want people who are ready to do business today. The fourth thing, you want to establish the budget. Because it's all well and good to have a very intense need and to have urgency, but if you don't have a budget, no deal can take place. So you need to establish this. You don't want to wait weeks and months to discover that they don't have the money, or they can't afford, or they didn't realize that your solution was too expensive for them. So establish the budget within the 5 minutes. And the fifth thing, what is the decision-making process? Because what's the point of wasting time with someone who's not really a decision maker? You put all your energy, you put all your resources to discover that you're presenting to a wrong person. So find out the decision-making process before the call ends. You need to know how this process will be handled and who will be involved, so that you can get those people involved ASAP, especially if you present your company. So these are the 5 things I always remember whenever I'm talking to someone on the call and they're looking to utilize my services. I like to know these before the end of my call. 5 minutes usually. Since we're still talking about the selling process, I also want to touch on the things that, just a few things that make experts have posture. You need to, first of all, accept right now that you are an expert in your field. If you're a professional, you're a consultant, you're an entrepreneur, what you're doing is providing a service or selling a product to people who need it. And in those people's eyes, because they need a solution, they need somebody who knows better than them to solve their problem. Here's an example. Let's say, for an example, you're a banker, and you've only been a banker for a year, and you're talking to me. I know nothing about banking, that's not my field. In my eyes, at that moment of engagement between the two of us, when we talk about banking, there's one expert, that's you. You've been doing this for a year. I know people say, only a year, yes. I know that there are various levels, of course, but here's the issue, here's the thing. In front of me, if you can uncover my problem, and you find that it's within your scope, it's within your realm, and you can solve it in a way that is going to really make me happy, you've just become my expert. If you don't know how to solve my problem, because you work for a larger institution, There are people who know more than you. You can always go to those people to get a solution for me and still bring it back to me. Or bring those people, come with them to solve my problem in a way that maintains your position as an expert in my eyes. Because what people are looking for are solutions to problems. So it doesn't help us when we play small, saying, well, I don't know if I can help, or I don't know enough, because you've already raised your hand, you've put your flag out there, saying this is what you are. Then stand up and have posture. People respect that. I know that in the field of sales, people have been told that you need to learn how to sell, and there's a reason for that. You need to learn how to sell, you need to learn how to close, you need to learn how to do this. But wouldn't we love it if people can just call us and say, oh, I thought let me buy from you because of this, or that person. Love taking orders. Isn't it just beautiful? Think about doctors. They don't really go out of their way trying to sell to us, but we go to them most of the time. We go, think about lawyers, think about people who are professional experts in what they do, consultants for big corporate firms like Accenture, McKinsey. Corporations go to these people to say, we need you. Law firms, big law firms, they don't go out of their way, cold calling like crazy, trying to convince everybody that people must buy from them, or people need their solutions. So we need to remember that we can set things up in such a way that people would want to do business with us, would come to us. So experts love taking orders. So there's nothing wrong with order taking, but you need to line your ducks in a row first. And I'm hoping I'll teach you that one day. They act and are treated like professionals. I've already used these examples of doctors, lawyers, consultants of big corporations, etc., etc. They are treated like, because they carry themselves with posture. Once again, think about the people you respect in whatever field you're in. They solve problems. There are issues all about, they don't try to convince people, oh please buy, I need to meet my target. It's not about their target, it's about solving problems for as many people as possible in a way that is satisfactory, or in a way that is wow. So they solve problems, they always remember that. They don't call you and say, oh, sorry to bother you. Say, oh, I get worried when people call me and say, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. I don't need people to bother me. I need people who call me knowing why they're calling me, who've done their research, and who know how they can solve my problems. So don't bother people, but look at being a problem solver. And they deal with the truth. Because we all know that I do it, you do it, most people do it. When people call you at a time when you really don't want to talk to them and to present things that you don't think you need, what happens? We make up stories, we tell them lies just to get them off the phone. So these people, experts, go for the truth. They want to deal with the truth. You know, they tell the truth and they deal with the truth. So you really want to continue to practice communicating in a truthful manner with people. And clients rave about them. Think about somebody who did something great for you. Wow, that was great service. Because you want more people to call you so they can take more orders. You want to create a platform where people can really go on raving about your work. And they choose clients carefully. I know we think, wow, I want any clients. No, I don't. You don't as well. You want to work with people who inspire you. You want to work with people who have real problems that you can solve in a way that is going to make them want to work with you going forward. And they love complaints because they handle them in a way that they know that they convert a complaint into an opportunity. And also they always over-deliver. Ladies and gents, that's it for today. I hope some of these points have helped you. If there's anything I can do for you, email me, sian@siamapocket.com, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.